So today I just picked up the FCS Quick Struts from XL Auto Parts that are going to go on my 2012 Chevrolet Cruze. This is FCS part number 333414 R, and I picked them up from XL Auto Parts right here in Missouri City. So the first thing people ask me is, how do I know that the car needs new shocks and struts? And the simple answer is, I have no idea. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and people say that unless the strut is just completely locked up and dripping oil and there's absolutely zero give when you push on the car, that it doesn't need to have a change. And other people say that the shock will lose 10% of its useful life every 10,000 miles. So theoretically, at 76,000 miles, the car should only have 24% of the shock capacity left. I don't really think there's a good answer. And to be completely honest with you, I think that you can just change your shocks and struts whenever you feel like it. If you feel like it's not a good ride anymore like it used to be, just go ahead and swap them out. What have you got to lose? The shock absorbers that I'm putting on the rear of the car are FCS Auto Shocks. This particular one was sourced from XL Parts, and the part number is 346066. They are made in China, despite the fact that they were advertised being made in Michigan, but this is the XL recommended brand in replacement of the AC Delco shock absorbers. I tried to source the AC Delcos and I could not find them anywhere. These look pretty good. I don't know how they are in comparison to the old shock absorbers as far as size, but they look pretty beefy. So I think these might be fine. The first thing we're gonna do is break loose the rear tire and get it off. And to do that, I'm gonna use Big Mike here. Big Mike is a torque wrench that doesn't quite work anymore, so I'm using it as a converted breaker bar, and I'm going to go ahead and break it loose. I am using an impact wrench socket for the GM series lug nut. Oh, let me try not to break my stuff while I'm at it. So I'm going to use Big Mike to bust the lug nuts loose. These things are coming off kind of easy. Not sure if they should be coming off this easy, but wheel hasn't fallen off yet, so I guess that's a good thing. All right. Now I'm going to use the 1/2-inch socket and just finish busting loose. A lot of people will use power tools for this, but for some reason, I still like doing everything by hand. Problem with impact tools is that it will really bust your stuff up, and you will break stuff before you even realize what happened. I used to have a 2001 Chevrolet Camaro, and that's where I learned all the wrenching, at least I think, all the techniques for using the hand tools. There's a lot of tricks you can utilize with hand tools that you can't quite get with the air ratchets. The air ratchets will break your stuff. But with the hand tools, you can utilize a lot of technique, and you can finesse the parts and get things to happen when they otherwise wouldn't happen. So we'll see how that works out. All right, here we go. So now I have the lug nuts off, and now just rip the wheel off. No, I'm just joking. I gotta get the lift, and I gotta lift it up. All right, so now I have the shock absorber exposed. Let me get a flashlight so we can see what's going on. Use the light of truth and justice here. But so this is it. You can see there's 2 top bolts that secure the top of the shock mount in place. And then there's a dust boot right here. And then there's a shock absorber itself here. And looks like there's 1 bolt that holds the entire assembly into place. Actually, I think I was going the wrong direction on it. I think I was trying to tighten it instead of loosening it. All right, here we go. Yeehaw. It's like this. Motherfucker should pop out, right? Oh man, look at that. Yeah, these things are gone. I can just retract it with my hand. You know, I really should have looked up on the internet how to undo these things. Let me see. I think there's a strut mount that goes on top. All right, guys. So I have the bottom of the shock broken loose here. And as you can tell, I can immediately compress it by hand. So that is obviously gone, which makes sense. You could feel that it was gone right when you were driving the car. There's 2 more bolts up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and break them loose and see what happens. All right, 18-inch. I know my dad's at. I go fucking it up, man. All right. That's bolt number 2. And jumped right out at me. Okay. So here it is. I got it off the car. There is the strut mount. gone. There's nothing there. All right, guys, slowly but surely we're still working on it. Now, the shock mount, as you can see, has the nut, and the nut is completely frozen onto the top of the shock. This is something you're gonna run into, especially when the car has some age to it. Now you have two options. You can either get a new piece because the new shock has a new nut, or you can try to get this nut off. Now the shaft spins. As you can see, I'm grabbing it here, I'm grabbing it here. The shaft will spin. Consequently, when you try to unscrew this top nut and you hold the shock by the body, the shaft will spin and you won't be able to get the nut off. If you hold it here, you should be able to do it. But if the nut is frozen on top of the shock, then that's not good. Now you have some options. You should never let a broken nut ruin your day. So they have this stuff called PB Blaster. You can get it out of Riley, you can get it out of AutoZone. What you do is you just wanna zap the top of the shock, the nut that won't come off, get it really good in there. And let it sit for a few minutes. See how that works out. Sprayed my phone, but that's okay. All right, so we'll let this sit, and I guess we can start tearing down the other side. See how that works out. All right, well, now it's time for the other side. It's pretty interesting. The whole family gets involved, and next thing you know, time passes by. So I have the other shock installed. I used a vice grip, and I used the impact wrench with some PB Blaster, and we managed to get the nut off. And if you're wondering why I don't have any video of that, is because, well, I was having to use the phone at the same time, so that's just how it goes. I think these things are torqued down very tight. I expected them to be a little bit more, but anyway, whatever. Oh, shit.
Wonder if I should have done this while I was being supported out now. I think it's okay. Can you hand me that tin right there? Can you just like grab it and hang on? Sorry, I got my... Yeah, just grab the whole thing. Or actually, no, just grab me the lug nuts. 5 lug nuts. That's all I need.
What's this in?
The lug nuts, Dad. They're in the...
Oh, the lug nuts.
Yeah, just grab me 5 of them.
Okay.
All right. 1,
Okay,
2.
well, I'll bring them all down.
And then,
You need 5 for the wheel.
Yeah.
On this side.
there you go. And then grab me the black one with the duct tape on it. There's one with tape on it.
Yeah, that's all I think.
Okay.
And 200 feet that lug nut?
Yeah, it's just one with tape. That'll work. Thanks, Dad. Some good tires, man. Careful, Dad. You scare me sometimes. Huh?
That squirrel and that bird sharing the food.
Really?
You see them?
Oh, look at that. They get along better than we do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. All we do is get drunk and argue about the inheritance. No, I'm just joking. Hang on. All right.